loves! Today I'm going to be doing my May wrap-up and my June TBR. So I ended up reading 7 books in the month of June. I'm really proud of that because I thought I was only going to finish 6 books, but I ended up finishing 7. So that's really awesome. And I have a big TBR planned for June, but I'm not sure if I will end up reading all of them. So let's just jump into all of the books that I read in May. The first 2 books that I read last month were The Elite and The One by Kiera. These were rereads for me. I did video discussions on them. Go watch those, they're on my channel and you can hear all my thoughts. So I of course gave both of these 5 out of 5 stars. They were rereads and they were just as perfect as always. And then the third book that I read last month was The Heir by Kiera. So I have a full video review / discussion up on this book, as well as a Goodreads review, and so you can go check those out if you want to hear what I thought. I ended up giving this book 4.5 out of 5 stars. It wasn't quite as amazing as I hoped it would be, but I still really enjoyed it. Can't believe I have read The Heir. It's just crazy. Like, it still hasn't fully processed, but I'm dying for book 5, but I'm also not because I don't want it to end. After that, I ended up reading An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir, and I gave this book 4.75 stars out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I also did a Goodreads review on this book. I basically have reviews on all of these books, so you can go check them out on Goodreads or on my channel. I really enjoyed it. I loved the characters, and I loved the story, and like how unique the plot was, and I just thought it was really well written. The 5th book that I read last month was The Distance Between Us by Casey West. I ended up giving this book 4 stars on Goodreads. It wasn't anything like super special. This was my first Casey West book, and so I read it in like less than 15 hours. Yeah, I read it really quickly. But I really enjoyed it. I really liked the plot and the characters as usual. Yeah, just 4 stars. It wasn't anything like, it didn't blow my mind. If you want a cute, fun, light, very quick contemporary book to read this summer, pick up Casey West books. I am really excited to read her other 2, On the Fence and The Fill-In Boyfriend, but I'm not sure when I'm going to, hopefully soon. After that, I picked up Balance Keepers, The Fires of Calderon by Lindsay Cummings, and I read about half of this book before. I was trying to finish it beforehand, but I didn't. Before I read The Death Code by Lindsay Cummings, which is the sequel and the final book in the Murder Complex duology. I am so sad that it's over, but I loved this book. So I'm first going to talk about The Death Code because I finished that one first last month. I'd honestly say that The Death Code was probably my favorite book that I read last month. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It was so perfect. Oh, it was just so amazing. I was just blown away. Like, Lindsay Cummings is such an amazing author. Just the way that this is written, it's so well written, and I'm saying that with every book, but it really was. Like, it was never too slow or fast, and the writing was just like, it was so perfect. This came out on the 26th of last month, and I read it the day it came out. I actually went to Lindsay Cummings' book release party for this book, so that was super fun. So after that, I went back and finished Balance Keepers, Fires of Calderon. I ended up giving this book 4 out of 5 stars. The reason being just a couple reasons. One is I'm 17 and this is a middle grade book and the main characters were 11 years old, and so I just really couldn't connect to them very well, as well as the fact that it was written in 3rd person. I really enjoy reading in 1st person better, and I feel like if it was in 1st person and we were inside of Albert's head, then I would have really enjoyed it more and like connected to his character a little bit. Those were just a couple of my problems with it, but it was still amazing. I really love the concept and like the tiles. Like, I want to know what my tile is. Like, that's just so cool. And while it did have a lot of the similar aspects of Harry Potter and Percy Jackson, of course it's going to, because I mean, it's really hard to be completely unique these days. There are just so many things that have already been done. And I mean, I think that she put her own spin on it, and I just really like the concept of this book. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the 2nd book. I am going to be like recommending this to my younger siblings. They're like 9, 11, and 13. I think they'll really enjoy it, and I really enjoyed it as well. But I feel like if I had read it when I was in middle grade, I would have fell in love with it. It would have been one of my favorite books I've ever read, if not my favorite. It's just such a great adventure book, and it's like friendship and magic and hope and beautifulness, and I think it's a really amazing book for the genre that it's in. Alright, so those are all of the books that I ended up finishing in May of this year. Now we're just going to jump into my June TBR. I've got a basket here because I'm taking my Instagram picture. So I have a basket full of my TBR books. The first book that I'm planning on reading this month is Illusionarium by Heather Dixon. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you know how obsessed I am with Heather Dixon's other book. Her other book is Entwined, and I am so obsessed with it. I've done a giveaway for it because I love it so much and I want everyone to read it, and I just talk about it in basically every single video because it's so amazing. And this is her only book that's released until now. Illusionarium's out, and when I found out that Illusionarium would exist, I was just like so happy, and the fact that I have it now is just, oh, I'm dying. This came out on May 12th and I still haven't read it. I got it the other day and I'm dying to read it. I'm going to be starting it as soon as possible. It sounds so amazing, and I just know that she's an amazing author, so I cannot wait to read this. After that, I'm probably going to be picking up P.S. I Still Love You by Jenny Han. This is the sequel to All the Boys I've Loved Before. Here's the first book, here's the second book, and I read To All the Boys I've Loved Before in February of this year and really enjoyed it. It was so cute, and I'm dying to read the second book. Not as much as I'm dying to read Illusionarium, but I'm so excited for this book just to see what happens with the characters and where the story goes, and I'm just so excited, and look how pretty they are together. So those are two that I am definitely for sure going to be reading in June, but these next, how many are there, like 6 books? I am not entirely sure. These are options that sort of sound good right now, and I probably won't finish all of them, but they're just ideas. I'll probably read at least one of these this month. So the first one is Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson. I've already read her other book, Amy and Roger's Happy Detour, and absolutely loved it. It was so amazing. I'm really excited to read this book because this is like everyone's favorite Morgan Matson book, and it sounds super good, but I'm like, can it top Amy and Roger? We'll see. Anyway, the concept sounds super cool, and I'm really excited to see what all of the hype is about. Another book I would like to finish this month is Beautiful Creatures by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stoll. I read the first half of this on audiobook, and I read it on Overdrive. It's like you connect to your local library that you have like a library card with, and you can borrow like audiobooks and ebooks, but then after 2 weeks they have to go back, and I don't think you can actually get them again. So I was like, I'm never gonna be able to finish the audiobook, and I really loved it on audiobook. I really love the story, so I want to finish this and watch the movie, even though I hear the movie's terrible. Next we have Until We Meet Again by Renee Collins. This book isn't out yet. It's an ARC. It comes out in November, but ever since I read the back, it sounds so amazing. Go read the synopsis on Goodreads if you haven't. It sounds so incredible. I may have to pick it up this month. I'm not really sure. The next 2 books that I kind of want to read this month are Landry Park and Jubilee Manor by Bethany Hagen. I have wanted to read Landry Park for over a year. Ever since it first came out, I've been dying to read it, and now that I have both books, I'm like, plus it's a duology, so it's like, it won't be too, like, it won't cliffhang me and just like leave me dying. The final book that I may or may not be reading this month is A Book of Spirits and Thieves by Morgan Rhodes. This is the author of Falling Kingdoms, and so when I found out that it was her, I got really excited to read it. This actually comes out this month, so I kind of want to read it before it comes out and like feel special. I think it's middle grade. It sounds pretty good of what I know about it. Okay, so those are all of the books that I read in May and all the books that I'm planning or hoping on reading in June. You guys should comment down below what your favorite book that you read in May was. Mine was The Death Code. It was just so perfect. I also really loved An Ember in the Ashes though, but The Death Code is the only book that I was reading for the first time that I actually gave a full 5 stars to, and I just absolutely loved it. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye!